Now at 5, a proposed tax hike could boost funding for volunteer firefighters, but what would it mean for property owners? Plus, Carthage voters face big decisions on school funding, from teacher pay to a new auditorium, what that means for the community. And
the Trump administration implements sweeping new tariffs. I'm Erica Brown at the White House with the growing trade war and the president's latest push to dismantle the Department of Education.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
District is asking voters to approve a tax increase on April 8th. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM Samantha Walker joins us in the studio with details of that tax proposal.
Dow, if approved, it would be the first tax rate increase for the district since it was created in 1988. When I spoke with the Seneca Area Fire Protection District, they said their call volume has increased by 300% since that time. If passed, the increase would nearly double the tax rate to roughly 53 cents per $100 of assessed property valuation. Fire district staff say the needs of the community have grown over the years, and an increase to their yearly budget is necessary to keep their volunteer firefighters safe on calls.
Like anything this day and age, prices are going up. Nowadays, just to send a firefighter into a burning building, it costs about $15,000 in equipment to be able to send them inside. And so that's a huge substantial cost for us when our budget is roughly $160,000 every year.
This Saturday, the fire district is hosting an open house for the community where the public can ask questions about the tax increase. In the studio, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Samantha, thanks. Carthage voters have some big decisions to vote on affecting the Carthage School District. One initiative is an operating levy, a tax increase meant to give teachers a pay hike. The superintendent of Carthage Schools says Carthage has the lowest starting teacher salary of any school in the Ozark Conference, leading to a difficult time recruiting teachers. The operating levy is a 55-cent tax increase, bringing it from $3.05 to $3.60. The second issue on the ballot is a bond that would go toward building an auditorium for performing arts, including choir, theater, and band students. It would also include a tornado safety shelter. The superintendent of Carthage Schools says their current auditorium is small and just doesn't have much capacity. This bond would not increase taxes.
It's vital to be able to attract good teachers and to also retain those teachers. On the opposite side, I think the biggest complaint is just that they don't want to see taxes increase. We understand that. We wouldn't be asking if we didn't feel it was necessary.
Early voting has started and the election is on April 8th. City of Pittsburgh collaborated with a local artist and Pittsburgh Beautiful for a new mural. It's located at the Four Oaks RV Park's restroom. The artist is Jenna Spencer. Her piece outlines the state of Kansas with a color scheme representing Pittsburgh State University. She completed it today.
Having people who don't normally see art have that opportunity to think about it, to enjoy it. A lot of people like to take photos with them. Just like I said, it gives a sense of art to this community as well. So.
Explore Crawford County now plans to put up a QR code sign that will lead folks to places to visit, eat, and shop. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, another warm day for us today. Most of us right around 80, upper 70s to 80 degrees. Even though we have the clouds, a little bit cooler than what we saw yesterday, but still way up there. 73 in Joplin, 74 in Pittsburgh. The wind's not too bad today, which is great. Enjoy it because the winds are really going to pick up as we go through the next few days. But look at our temperatures. Most of us across the board sitting into the mid 70s. Through the evening hours, we slide back into the 60s. We are going to have a lot of clouds. Could be an isolated shower in our far southern counties, but most of us look pretty good. You can see the clouds out there. We'll get some thunderstorms, mainly parts of Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas later on tonight. But for us, temperatures near 80 continue, but the winds really pick up by Friday. We're going to talk more about that here in a bit.
See you soon. Billions of dollars worth of American-made goods are now being targeted for increased tariffs in retaliation for new taxes President Trump instituted on foreign-made steel and aluminum. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
President Trump issued a warning to countries placing new tariffs on American-made goods.
We're going to be doing reciprocal tariffs, so whatever they charge us, we're charging them. Nobody can complain about that.
Overnight, the U.S. imposed 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports. In response, the European Union and Canada announced retaliatory tariffs of their own. The EU is targeting $28 billion worth of American goods, including beef, bourbon, motorcycles, and jeans, while Canada is taxing more than $20 billion worth of products, including steel, computers and servers, and cast iron goods. Canada says it's following a dollar-for-dollar approach to new tariffs.
Our sole focus is to stand up for Canadian interests, Canadian jobs, and Canadian workers.
While President Trump imposes new tariffs on key trading partners, he is also pushing for steeper cuts to U.S. government agencies that he says are bloated and need to be slashed.
Department of Education's, maybe more so than any other place, has a lot of people that can be cut.
The Trump administration announced plans to fire more than 1,300 Education Department employees last night, a first step in the president's effort to dismantle the agency.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk do not have the right to shut down the Department of Education. It was created by Congress. Only Congress has that right.
The department's main responsibilities include financial assistance to low-income schools, support for students with disabilities, civil rights oversight, and federal student loans and grants. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Now, CBS News has also learned that beginning on April 11th, Canadians seeking to spend more than 30 days inside the U.S. will be required to register with U.S. immigration officials. Still ahead, a possible government shutdown looming. And Congress races against the clock to pass a spending bill. What's at stake? And up next in Health Watch, why saunas are the hottest wellness trend this winter and how they could benefit your health. Topping today's Health Watch, saunas have been mainstays at gyms for decades, but the spaces are getting new attention for possible health benefits. Bradley Blackburn shows us how some are jumping in.
In a cold New York City winter, these barrel-like saunas at the William Vale Hotel are a hot spot. The hotel rolled out its winter spa with skyline views and inside soaring temperatures that start at 110 degrees. James Volpe was recently soaking it all up.
The cold to the hot is just like the best in the winter.
The private sauna sessions are popular, booking up well in advance, and the spa manager says some guests want to try out a wellness trend.
We check on you every 30 minutes to make sure that you're fine, make sure you're not cold or too hot.
There's no question the sauna space is heating up. The Wall Street Journal reports tech executives are networking in saunas instead of old school bars. And popular podcasters like Andrew Huberman have praised potential health effects.
Regular use of sauna or other forms of deliberate heat exposure can reduce mortality to cardiovascular events.
I think everyone sort of likes how they feel when they come out of a sauna, right?
Dr. Gian Corrado with Mass General Brigham says the scientific research on saunas is promising.
What is it about sauna use that might be helpful to the body?
We need to understand exactly the mechanism better, but what we know is that blood pressure comes down. We know that studies of the arteries and vessels look to be more healthy after a sauna.
The caveat is we don't know how much sauna time is a healthy dose for different people.
We need more randomized controlled trials. We need more specific data on different demographics.
Plenty of questions, but for many, the sauna is worth the sweat now.
You can just literally come here and sit down and have some peace and quiet and tranquility. I think that's the biggest draw for me.
A hot take that could boost your health. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Doctors do say saunas should not be used by people who've recently suffered a heart attack or have other serious heart conditions. If you have any safety questions, it's best to talk with your doctor. The Agriculture Department has cut 2 programs that provided money for schools and food banks to buy food from local farmers. First program provided roughly $660 million to the Local Food for Schools Cooperative Agreement Program. The rest was earmarked for the Local Food Purchase Assistance Cooperative Agreement Program. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we got a fun fact about gophers.
Plus, the warm temperatures stick around, but the winds really get moving. We're going to talk more about that coming up. Well, another beautiful day for us today. Temperatures fantastic, mid to upper 70s to near 80. Once again, had sunshine during the morning. Clouds have increased during the afternoon, but still, it's turned out to be a great Wednesday. Great shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, temperatures slide back through the 70s, 60s as we go through the next several hours. Again, we'll bottom out into the mid 50s later on tonight, but look outside right now. It's 77 in Fort Scott, 74 in Veneta, 75 in Anderson. Carthage is sitting at 74. You really see the clouds increasing over the past couple hours. We have a fairly weak wave which is rotating to our south, and it's going to produce some showers and thunderstorms mainly south of us. Severe thunderstorm watch out across parts of Texas into Louisiana, and really the severe threat is kind of from Fort Smith all the way down into Texas, so just south of the region. So this system's not going to affect us too much. This one will. Bigger storm system. This is going to be a big wind maker once again as we get into Friday. Very similar to what we had last week. Now, thunderstorm wise, on Friday, there is going to be a severe threat, but it mainly looks to kind of pick up Springfield, Branson, points east, which is definitely good news for us. We don't want any severe weather. We could get a few random little thunderstorms. Now the winds really get going. Southerly winds tomorrow, not bad. Gusts kind of 10 to 15. But once we get into Friday, look at this. Gusts 45 to 50, maybe 55 at times. So they're going to be really moving all the way through Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and then they come down a bit on Saturday, but still it's going to be breezy as we go into Saturday afternoon. So if we look at our wind forecast, this is a trash can in the neighbor's yard type situation once we get into Friday afternoon. Let me take you through time. Clouds hold over the next several hours. There could be an isolated shower in our far southern counties. Everybody else will stay dry. We start low to mid 50s on your Thursday. Nice day, sunshine, not too windy, lower 70s by noon. Most of us right around 80. 81 degrees tomorrow afternoon, so another fantastic day. The winds start to increase tomorrow night into Friday morning. Keeps our temperatures up, only drop back 58, 59 degrees. As we go into Friday afternoon, mid 70s, here comes our little dry line right across southeastern Kansas. A little dry line slash cold front. There's really no cold front behind it, but we could get some isolated thunderstorms that pop up mid-afternoon and push east real quickly. Most of us will stay dry, and then the thunderstorms get going as they move east of us, but we are mainly going to have a wind event as this system rolls through, and then we'll start to cool down a bit as we go into Saturday. All right, day planner on your Thursday, 54 to start, 71 by noon. High temp, 81 degrees. Pretty good, near record highs. 77 on Friday. Few isolated thunderstorms. Random shower late Saturday. Cooler, but where we should be for this time of the year. 58, 56 on Sunday. Back into the 70s on Monday and Tuesday of next week.
It's moving into spring, and that means you have to have some showers occasionally.
You do. We could use the rain.
You bet. Temps looking pretty good. Thanks, Doug. Coming up, while grocery bills are easing, new tariffs could drive prices back up on some things. What that means for your wallet. Topping today's Consumer Watch, a new government report shows inflation is easing more than expected. But there are concerns prices on several items could start increasing because of the latest tariffs implemented by the Trump administration. Kelly O'Grady has that story.
It's getting more expensive to buy eggs. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says prices are up 59% from last year. But even with that increase, the grocery store bill is getting a little easier to swallow. Overall, prices stayed flat in February, and the cost of many popular items actually dropped. Americans also saw relief at the gas pump. AAA says prices are down 31 cents a gallon from 2024. That helped push the inflation rate down to a better than expected 2.8%, and core inflation dropped to the lowest level in 4 years.
If we were looking at this report in isolation without any of the other news flow, we would be happy. But you can't take this report in isolation. This report comes as there are on-again, off-again tariffs.
The Trump administration's tariffs on certain imports, including aluminum and steel, are expected to lead to higher prices on everything from homes to cars. Leanne Darlin is the co-founder of Talea Beer Co. She's already dealing with higher costs and fears tariffs will push her expenses even higher.
How big of an impact could that make? So aluminum costs represent 25% of the cost of a case of beer for us. If we were to take that on ourselves, I mean, that's obviously going to impact our bottom line, and we would have to figure out how we're going to hopefully share the burden of those tariffs.
If Talea can't share the cost of that aluminum tariff, it could mean a 5-cent increase per can.
Other companies will also have to consider price hikes. Economists on Wall Street say if the current tariffs stay in place, inflation will rise instead of cooling without the new tariffs. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.
Economists say that means consumers could soon feel the impact, not just at the grocery store, but across a range of everyday purchases. Still, for now, lower gas prices and a slight dip in overall inflation are offering some relief. The clock is ticking for Congress to send a spending bill to the president's desk in order to avert a partial government shutdown on Friday. The GOP-led House narrowly approved a continuing resolution to maintain spending levels yesterday, sending the bill over to the Senate, where it must get 60 votes to pass. Our pet vet on call. Up next on the CBS Evening News, what's in a name? For some military families, the answer is plenty. Then on KOAM News at 6, details of the Women in Business luncheon today in Carthage. Plus, the Neosho Police Department has a warning about a new internet billing scam. And Missouri Southern softball has a doubleheader against Maryville. We have the highlights. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. As spring approaches, we'll soon start seeing new budding and blooming. This annual regeneration can involve the interaction of more than just sunshine and rain and warmth. In some cases, it could involve natural influences you might not have even considered. Today, our Pet Vet on Call brings us a fun fact about gophers.
When Mount St. Helens erupted a bunch of years ago, it covered the surrounding area with so much soot and ash and stuff. The scientists didn't think that vegetation would ever grow back. But somebody had an idea of releasing some gophers there. Now gophers dig. They dug up the soil and got deep enough to release the vegetation down below, as well as bringing in more on their footpads, on their coats, in their digestive tracts. And they've started an abundance of growth in that area, faster than it would have ever happened on their own. Now that is something that even human intervention couldn't do. Go Gophers.
We invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we've chosen this shepherd, a senior male named Elmer. Look at that face. The society says he's playful with a big heart, loves games of fetch, but also knows how to relax when appropriate. From the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we have this 3-year-old male German shepherd getting up close and personal with the camera. His name is Jack. If you're looking for a pet, why not at least check out your local Humane Society? So many great choices at all of them. The weather looking pretty nice. Temps warm, Doug.
Yeah, we're going to see the clouds sticking around this evening, but sunshine returns tomorrow. 81 for an afternoon high. 77 on Friday. Now, very windy. We're going to have winds gusting 45, upwards of 50, 55 at times, and a few scattered thunderstorms. Cooling down a bit for the weekend.
Sounds pretty good, actually, overall. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.